We're here for Utah Board of Water Resources. This is the board briefing and briefing meeting. We'll have the action meeting a little later. We'll do some introductions real quick. I'm Mike Davis, Provo River Drainage, and yes, this is the bandage on my head, just in case everybody needs to ask. Had a little removed yesterday, so anyway.
Hi, I'm Dana Van Horn. I represent the Upper Colorado River District.
Dale Buxton. I'm cover the Bear River Basin area.
Blaine Ibsen, cover the Severe River area.
Okay, and then online, Juliet, we have you. And Juliet, can you hear us?
She just put in the chat that DNR is muted still.
Oh.
So we best check that out. And do we have anybody else online from the board? They can't hear anything. Well, let's figure that out.
Juliet, you give us a sound check one more time, please.
You got it. I'm here and I can hear you. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Juliet, can you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for letting me come in remotely. Juliet Tennant representing Salt Lake.
Thank you. Do we have any other board members online? Doesn't appear so. We haven't heard from Tim Hawks, William Merkley, and we think Brian Steed is not going to be here today, but they may be here later. We're okay on the briefing meeting. We don't need a quorum. We do have a quorum, but we're good. Oh, and Spencer Jones is going to be online, but is he with us yet? He'll be here. If he said he'll be here later. Joel, do you want to make some introductions?
I would love to. Want to introduce our water resources staff that's here today. Just looking around the room, I see Ashley Sampson, Ethan Stayner, Ben Marett, Bradley Caldwell, Shannon Clow, Shalane DiBernardi, and we have Sarah Schechter from the AG's office. And I'm Joel Williams, and then helping run the meeting today in the back room, we've got Carmen McDonald and Paul Gedge, and we appreciate their help. And that might be it.
That might be it.
Unless somebody else.
Let's call it it.
Oh, and we have online, we have Ani Merrill, or Ani Baynard, with our project funding section.
Okay, welcome everybody. Let's dig in on the discussion. The first item we'll discuss. Let me just note that Project RE 488 North Creek Irrigation Company Mount Pleasant won't be presented today for committal of funds, and we'll expect that in the August meeting. That had previously been discussed, so that will be next meeting. First item we'll discuss is for committal of funds, RE 499 Lake Creek Irrigation Company. This project is in my area, and so we want to invite the applicants up here, and Ben, and let's hear it all. Why don't you introduce yourselves, if you would, please?
Hi, thank you for taking time and having us today. I'm Greg McPhee, president of Lake Creek Irrigation Company.
My name is Jake Anderson. I'm the water master for Lake Creek Irrigation Company.
Okay, Ben.
All right.
And I'll just mention William Merkley is joining us.
No worries, no worries. We're glad you're here. Okay, we've got before us Lake Creek Irrigation Company. Excuse me, they're coming before us for committal of funds. They've got a project where they are looking to replace and upsize about 15,000 feet of pipeline, replace a diversion structure, replace an existing pressure reducing valve and vault, install a system water meter and vault, and install additional connections to their distribution system. They have met all the requirements for funding. They've held a bid opening, which was held in May of this year. Bids came in below the engineer's cost estimate, and we have updated the project cost from $10,170,000 to $8,946,000. Staff recommends that the board commit 85% of the project cost, up to $7,604,000, and that the project be purchased at 1.24% interest over about 26 years with annual payments of $346,000. And that's staff support.
Okay, applicants, would you like to add anything to the bid report?
No, that sums it up very well, and we appreciate your time and consideration.
Thank
Unless
you.
you have questions for us.
Board, do we have any questions for either the applicants or for Ben? Yes.
What's your approximate time frame that you're hoping for getting this going?
We hope to start October 1, if not before. We can start before on some of the areas that aren't currently pressurized for the irrigation season. We may be able to start early due to lack of storage and snowpack. So as soon as we can, but it's a fall through the winter, early winter project.
Any other questions? Yes,
Yep.
Wayne.
Good. Just curious on the size and scope of your district. Or you have how many shareholders, shares, how many acres? Just kind of have an idea of how much you service.
Shoot, I wish I had my data sheets with me. We cover the whole east end of the valley. It's a mix between ag use and secondary irrigation for new growth. And part of the reason for this project is because of what growth has done. Our system is outdated and needs to be upgraded and upsized for capacity and pressure issues and things. But it's a mix, and if I had to guess, Max knows this stuff as well. He's from our area. Sure. There are several hundred primary shareholders. There are several that are large shareholders that are mostly ag folks still, and then lots of small incremental shareholders for the residential secondary that we also serve. We work closely with Twin Creek Special Service District. They handle some of that as it gets converted to municipal and industrial use.
Gotcha. Just to curious, so then do you levy this on a per share basis? But like with the secondary users, I'm just curious how that breaks down.
So we have reserved water for additional growth, and as they convert that will help repay this loan, in addition to assessments of current shareholders.
Okay. But is that like on a per share basis? Is
Yes.
that how you do it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, since this is in my area, Dana has offered to present motion on my behalf. Moving on to the next, thank you, gentlemen. RE 501, Cache Highline Water Association. Board Member Buxton, do you have anything to add to this before we start the discussions in your area?
And no, just took the opportunity to go look at it just to see where it was.
Are we gonna skip 488?
That's the one that's not in.
Yeah, it's going to be next. It'll be next in August.
Yeah. No, other than that, I think this has been drawn out a little bit, trying to get the reporting done for the Division of Water Rights, but I think Brad will go over that. But yeah, it looks like it's mostly complete from what I saw, and I think that's what you said too, Brad. So we'll let you have your say.
Spencer just joined too. Spencer Jones.
Spencer Jones, you joined us online. Thank you for being here. Do we have any representation from Cache Highline
It looks
Water.
like online we should have President John Wells and engineer Stephen Wood. Are they able to talk?
Yep, that is correct. We're both here.
Great.
Very good. Okay, Brad, go ahead.
Okay,
Present. Thank you.
Mr. Chair and the board, good morning. Our project number RE 501 Cache Highline Water Association. It's located in Smithfield City in Cache County. This project was to upgrade an existing 36-inch sloped black pipeline, as well as install a traveling screen, sediment basin, and a SCADA system. The applicant has completed all requirements, including the additional requirement that was requested by the board back in October. And that requirement was to report diversion water data to water rights, and we have gotten approval from Brandon Meller in water rights, the state engineer. The project is currently under construction. I've had the chance to visit the site a few times, as well as Del Buxton's, and I thank you for doing that and sending me photos. Ethan and I got to see the project last week, and they were about 90 to 95% complete, and it's looking pretty good. So that being said, staff recommends the board authorize 32.1% of the project cost up to $255,000, and the project be purchased at 0% interest over 25 years with annual payments of approximately $10,200. And that is staff's report.
Thank you, Brad. Would the applicants like to add anything to the presentation?
Just wanted to express our gratitude. I've worked personally a lot with Dale on discussing this one as well. We know that there was going through all the water reporting, and just wanted to thank you for the board's patience as we went through those items and worked with the canal company and water manager to get those to Brandon Malor. No, just appreciate the patience on this item. I know it's been a longer item, so thank you.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions for either Brad or the applicants?
This is John Wells, by the way, the
This is
president.
John Wells. I'm the president of the Cache Highline Water Association. This project involved replacing a very ancient structure that was, now that there's been residential homes basically built around it. It was well over 100 years old. It was we felt that it was our Achilles heel. It was just so far deteriorated that in the event of a failure, it would be quite catastrophic to some residential units at the bottom of the hill. And so we felt that this was just a very needed project that needed to get taken care of. And now we've got a project that will probably be there for another 100 years. And it's a big peace of mind for the irrigation company as well as the individuals who have constructed homes nearby.
Okay, thank you. Board, any questions? Either here or online? Okay, and the motion will be made by Dale. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Brad. Moving on, we're in the special items. We have RC 067 Twin Creek Special Service District, Jones Dam. Ethan. And Max, you want to come up and introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Max Covey. I'm General Manager for Twin Creeks.
Yep.
Twin Creeks Special-
Push the button.
Can you hear me now? All right. My name is Max Covey. I'm General Manager with Twin Creeks Special Service District.
My name's Jake Anderson. I'm the water master for the Twin Creeks Special Service District.
Thane Clark, Bowen Collins and Associates, engineer on the project.
Great. Ethan, I love the tie, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, 250 years is coming up. That's crazy.
Right.
Jones Dam. I'm excited for this one. I'm not sure how excited Twin Creeks is to be doing another phase of construction. You may recall we had phase one construction in 2024, and so we committed funds back then, and I'll go over why we need another phase. But Twin Creeks and Bowen Collins and Whitaker Construction, everybody has been so great to work with, and it's such a beautiful area up there. So I'm excited to get to go back up there, but here we go. Excuse me. So this picture is courtesy of Bowen Collins, just kind of showing a cool drone shot of during construction of phase one. During phase one, the spillway was improved. There was a stability berm added and an upgrade of the drain system and lining of the outlet conduit. Ben and I actually went up there the day they pulled the liner through, which was really cool. I've never been a part of a pipe lining, so that was pretty cool to see that. And then there's just some final photos from the final walkthrough. There were some punch list items after this, but it's kind of showing the upstream end with the new staff gauge and outlet gate, and that's kind of the downstream end with the new spillway and kind of covered in snow, but that's kind of what we were looking at. And that's also the downstream end from the other side on the left abutment. And so then, excuse me, during the initial filling last year, starting in kind of the end of June and beginning of July, there were some wet spots showing up downstream and a little bit of weepage and seepage, and so this is one of the wet spots on the right abutment near that new emergency spillway chute. And then a lot of it was in downstream vegetation, so it's kind of hard to see, but here's some of the seepage coming from the left abutment. And so this, don't worry too much about the text. I just kind of wanted to show kind of some of the spots where it was showing up, and kind of down there in the center, in the bottom center is where the dam embankment is. And so as you look north on that, on this image, you kind of looking to the left abutment, looking to the right. The plan is to extend the tow drain into those abutments to kind of capture some of those red circles where seepage is showing up, and then install a new pipeline to kind of carry some of that excess captured water into an adjacent reservoir on the system. And so I think that's the gist of it. What we're looking at is an increased total cost up to just over 4.5 million. And so the staff recommendation is that the board commit an additional $1,476,000 in dam safety grant funds, and that the contract be amended to state the board will provide 80% of the project cost up to $3,668,000 as a dam safety grant. And so I think that's it. Yeah, any questions? Or
Let's see if the applicants would like to add anything to the discussion.
First off, I just want to say thank you for all the funds that have been committed over the past few years. Just a little bit of history on this one. It was on a half fill order for 15, 20 years, quite a while.
It's when I started working at the county, because
Yeah.
it was my first job.
for a long time. So we were really excited to be able to fill this reservoir up and utilize the storage. And then we had these issues. So we do look forward to gathering and capturing all this seepage as well. It's quite a bit that just goes on past us. So this project will allow us to gather that water up, get it in a reservoir, and make it available for our shareholders and customers to use. So, but yeah, I appreciate the board and all the support that you've given over the years.
This is Thane. I'm the engineer. Just to add a few more things, you know, with the half-fill order, we were not able to understand how much seepage would have come around the abutments. And so this project became necessary as we filled the reservoir up for the first time in a long time. And that was new information for us and dam safety to see how there was a lot of seepage coming through those abutments. So the first project was to get a tow drain system in. This second project is to capture additional leakage that was discovered once we filled the reservoir to the top.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Yes. Dana?
I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying. Basically, the linear sort of leakage that's happening around the edge of the dam was existing previously, unaware when Project 1, Phase 1 started, and then, oh, look at that, when there's water in it. So
That's correct.
Okay.
With it being on a half-fill order for those many years, the first time we were able to fill it, we recognized that there was some additional seepage that we couldn't see due to the half-fill order that was on the reservoir.
do you anticipate being able to fill it up? Like, is the water there?
I hope so. Next year.
This year, maybe not.
We won't be able to fill it up this year. Even if we were able to, we wouldn't be able to. But yeah, we do anticipate, once we complete this project, that we will be able to fill it up every year, annually,
Great.
hopefully.
Thank you.
A couple of questions, actually. On this project where now you've discovered that higher up on the abutment that it's seeping through there, are there any plans to address it with lining the abutment or anything, or are you just collecting the seepage?
It will just be a collection. So it'll connect in with the new tow drain that was put in last year and integrated into the tow drain system.
Okay, and then refresh my memory. I'm fuzzy on this. How many acre feet? What's the capacity of that reservoir?
250.
So it's fairly small. And then just for the board's purposes, where this is a storage on the dam safety grant for municipality, we've always gone 80% on the grant. If it's for ag or those type of things, we go 90%. So that's the 80% is because this has municipal things that are associated with it. So that's the difference between the 80 and the 90%.
Okay. Thank you, Blaine.
Mr. Chair.
Oh, yes.
Maybe just to educate me a little bit. I mean, is this level of seepage typical, excessive? Where does it kind of fit on the scale? And I guess, how do you deal with that?
Well, every dam leaks. We know that. This one is probably a little more than normal. Rather than do a full removal and replacement of the dam, it was cheaper to collect the excessive seepage, protect the dam from internal erosion, so we collect that through a filter and a drain system. And that is safely conveyed away from the embankment materials. Like how the Teton Dam failed, that was seepage through the embankment that conveyed fines and particles from the embankment, creating sinkhole and the failure. So every dam leaks. It's just how it's very technical how we collect it and convey it away from the dam. The abutments usually leak on every dam as well, and the abutments are the native material. And so a lot of times that interface between the native material and the new material put in for the dam, there tends to be some seepage past there. This one probably leaks a little more than the normal. It was built very early on, It failed early on in, I believe, the
Early 60s.
in the early 60s, and it was rebuilt. Back then, again, the standards weren't very high for embankment dams, especially smaller ones. Now this sits in the middle of a fairly well-to-do development with cabins and people living nearby, and suddenly now it's important that its safety be upgraded. So we're working with an old dam, and a lot of times as we work with old dams, there is some seepage to deal with, and that's what we're addressing in these two projects. And the second phase will be especially important to make sure we catch all of the seepage. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks. You read my mind. I was thinking Teton Dam, and I'm going seepage and, downstream homes and other things. Just curious.
Yeah.
So, okay, that answered my question. Thank you.
And a large part of the Teton Dam was the material used, not just the construction type. So this dam, this is in my area. This was my first job working for the county 25 years ago. And the piezometers at that time, even at a half fill, we measured a fair amount coming off of it, as well as other dams in this vicinity. There are several irrigation reservoirs in this area. This one's one of the smallest, but they all do leak. We just monitor it, and that's why we monitor it, because if there's a change in that, then we know there may be a potential issue. And so it's an interesting, you don't think dams leak? They do. Any other questions? Since this is in my area, Dana, you can please make the motion. Thank you, Ethan.
Thank you.
Thank you, applicants. Next item, RE 505, Wolf Creek Irrigation Company. Ben's coming. Did Tim ever come online, or? Okay. Do we have any representation?
Looks like online we perhaps have Stephen Noel, President, and E.J. Harris, Treasurer.
And Secretary, yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ben.
We have before us today the Wolf Creek Irrigation Company, which might be a familiar name if you've been paying attention to our ARPA projects. They have a proposed project located about 2 miles northeast of Eden in Weber County. They provide water from Wolf Creek to 402 acres of pressurized irrigation agricultural land, and they provide water to 170 secondary irrigation connections, which are now metered. This applicant has been before the Board of Water Resources 2 times previously. Once to install their pressurized distribution system, and then once for their secondary metering system, which they recently completed. The applicant's main service line runs below State Route 158, which heads up to Powder Mountain Ski Resort, and they have a diversion structure immediately upstream, and there's a pipeline that goes below that road, and it was installed about 25 years ago, and it's currently in a state of decay, severe decay, and they're concerned about failure of the pipeline. So the purpose of this project is to replace approximately 350 feet of that pipeline below State Route 158. There's no real expected water conservation as a result of this project. There's no economic benefit, and so we've assumed a cost-benefit ratio of 1.0. The applicant has one water right, which is on Wolf Creek, and they have a diversion of about 20 CFS, or 2,243 acre feet per year. The applicant has completed nearly all of their requirements for funding. They have a draft attorney's opinion in right now, and they expect to have that completed soon. Construction on this project is expected to begin this fall, and is expected to take about a month to complete. So with that, staff recommends that the board authorize and commit 85% of the project cost up to $255,000, and the project will be purchased at 0% interest over 15 years with annual payments of approximately $17,000. And that's staff's report.
Thank you, Ben.
Yep.
And applicants, do you want to add anything to the discussion?
This is E.J. Harris, the Treasurer Secretary. I'll step in and Steve may have a comment, but just a big thanks to all of the support. Working with Ben and the state has been a great experience. This is our third time working with the state. And for a small water company located in Eden, it's a big deal for us to have assistance and help from the state. And we sincerely appreciate all that you do to support us.
This is Steve Noel, the president. I want to echo EJ's comments quickly and thank the board and just how grateful we are to have these resources available to us. We're a little water company and these things come up and we're just not able to handle the expense of it without these resources. So we're grateful for your consideration and to have this available to us.
Very good, thank you. Since we don't have Tim with us, is someone willing to make the motion? Blaine, thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry. I probably didn't ask everybody if they wanted to ask a question.
My first question is the pipe that's under the road a different material than the rest of the pipe?
The pipe that's currently under the road is a 36-inch, CMP pipe that has been installed, as Ben mentioned, 25 years ago when we went to the pressurized irrigation. This is our primary diversion off their main water source, which is Wolf Creek, that flows down through the Powder Mountain area. And the proposal is to replace that with the 36-inch pipe unless we can do a 24-inch insert inside of the pipe. Some of the line is open until it gets to the regulator pond, but after that, it's pressurized irrigation system after the regular pond. I don't know if hopefully that answered your question.
Well, I guess I was wondering if the pipe's in that bad a shape, is the rest of the pipe that got put in 25 years ago in that bad a shape too, or is it made of a different material?
Different material. I mean, the pressurized irrigation line was actually done after this pipe that goes under the road. This pipe that goes under the road, it's been installed a long time ago, and it's just, we took videos of it and it's totally corroded. So, but it only relates to this 150 feet that Ben referred to in the project.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you. And thank you, applicants.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, we don't have anything on this one. It's briefing information to the board time. Joel?
Highland City.
Or did I miss Highland City? Oh, I did. They'd probably be upset if I missed them. Had to keep them awake. RM016 Highland City. Ethan is presenting. Do we have any representation from the applicants?
Online, it looks like we might have Chris Trusty, Public Works Director.
Yep, I'm here. Chris Trusty with Highland City.
Thanks for being with us, Chris. Go ahead, Ethan.
Thank you.
Awesome. This one has the potential to be confusing, so I'll just try to state it as simply as possible. Just, we aren't normally able to do this type of adjustment, so I'll try to explain it and then we'll see where we're at. Highland City, this is their secondary metering project, so this is ARPA funds. In 2022, that initial round of ARPA funding for these secondary meter projects, they were able to get $5 million committed to install, I think it was 4,500 secondary meters. They're about done, maybe have a couple left as they go through their system, but they're essentially done. And so at the time, that was 51% of the total cost share. At the time, they were eligible to get 70% of the non-outside grant amount, but they were limited by the maximum $5 million amount that systems of that size could get at the time, because we were trying to be careful with how much we had and where we could distribute it. So now fast forwarding, and we're about done. They came in under budget, and so they're asking to be able to utilize more of what's already committed. So we're not committing any more money. Their outside grant amount stayed the same, and so they're just asking to be able to move up to the 70% of that non-outside grant amount, and so and utilize what's committed, because since they came in under budget, they can't actually utilize what has been committed with what has been invoiced on the project. And so we're just proposing an adjustment to the cost share, and it's just increasing their cost share, or excuse me, the board's cost share from 51% to 54.6% of the total cost of their secondary meter project. And so the staff recommendation is that the board amend the grant contract to provide 70% of the non-grant portion of project costs up to $5 million as a secondary meter grant. And so that's a report. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. But.
Okay. Does the applicant wish to add anything to the discussion?
Not really. I think Ethan did a great job with explaining. I just want to tell him thanks for all he's done, and thank the board for their work on this. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, so this project's in my area. I do have a question. So does this change? They have a repayment component somewhere.
No.
No?
Yeah, this is only changing the ARPA grant amount.
So it's just taking the ARPA amount.
Yeah. Yeah, and they don't have a loan on this one, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Board, any questions? Yes, Dale?
Just to clarify, I think I heard under budget, and
Yeah.
so the grant amount's the same.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently the $5 million hasn't been used completely, and want to
Mhm.
draw it up to the full amount, I guess is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Essentially. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so the committed was 9.8. It's now 9.15.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so is that kind of our differential that we're working with? It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Easy enough. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So what are they going to spend the balance on if they're almost done?
Yeah, so we're planning to go back, and what we have reimbursed on, the invoices we have reimbursed on, just bump up that percentage, and then so that'd be 3.6%. Give them an additional 3.6% on that, and then any other final costs they have that we'll reimburse at the new percentage. And so it just gives them the chance to utilize more of what they have committed.
So it's not additional work, it's just increasing the amount that they're eligible to be reimbursed for the work they did then.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Again, this one's in my area. Picked a heck of a day to have everything in my area, but that's okay. Dana has offered to make the motion. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Now, are we doing anything on this Moab City one? No? Okay. There's nothing there. So, Joel, it is now time for you to
Thank you.
inform us.
I would like to invite Shalane to come up and present the status of funds report, which is located in the board folder.
Thank you. And if I could just, before I jump into that, add a note on that Highland. Really, what's happened is because we actually had the board commit 51%, that's written into the contract, so that's all we've been paying. So even though they were eligible for a 70% grant, we've been looking at 51% of the total. What we'd like to do now is simply look at anything that isn't covered by the Bureau of Reclamation Water Smart grant and say, let's pay 70% of that. So we aren't limiting it, what they can use, because we just didn't recognize the consequences that might come from doing that way back then. So in the status of funds, there's, again, not a lot of change. You aren't considering a lot of projects today. And the ones you are committing already authorized funds. So there hasn't been a whole lot of change. Last meeting, we discussed possibly adding a page regarding the investigation account. I was not able to gather that information and get it prepared for today's report, but I will look to do that. I was thinking next meeting's probably better anyway, because we'll be in a new fiscal year and we can offer some insight on what we've done this last fiscal year and update you regularly starting next meeting. So you'll see there's a couple committal of funds, small ones, $255,000 each for cash and Wolf Creek today, still leaving almost $9 million available in the revolving construction fund. I do want to point out that in the dam safety funds, in addition to the additional funds we're asking for today for Twin Creeks, we do have a couple more contracts that we have done because of the work that we've been able to begin with our Ben sought and got us some federal FEMA, the high hazard potential dam grants. Utilizing those federal funds, then we're able to get started with some of our own grant funding. And as you'll recall, we don't bring those projects to you when they're still in the engineering phase. We wait until they have a design and a construction cost.
Do we know what ballpark is an amount of funds that may be required for those? I'm sure we do. We could share that. We could share our projections out with you. I think we talked about doing that and had started sharing the projected dam safety contracting and spending funds back when Tom was here, and then Tom left, and I think we have forgotten to share that out with you. So we can start getting that out to you again. We do have, even though there shows a balance here of about 13 million uncommitted, it's not really, because our list goes through several years, and we know Joe's Valley is coming up in, I think, 2 years. Is that 2 or 3 maybe? And expected to cost between 25 and 30 million. So yeah, I was going to say some of these dam projects cost a lot of money.
Yeah, they do. So usually more, like Twin Creeks today, Jones Dam, usually more than we expect. But that's what happens, right? So on our Conservation and Development Fund, we are asking you to commit that just over $7.5 million for Lake Creek today. But again, those funds were already authorized. So the only change there will be the new application that we received from Moab asking for about $3 million. So still showing over $55 million available in our Conservation and Development Fund. So that is my report. Any questions?
Any questions from the board?
Thank you.
Thanks, Shane.
Mr. Chair, sorry, one fast question. The Moab transaction, and that we aren't going to go over that, but that goes in there. Why?
We don't put it in our C&D fund yet. We listed on the last page that has it future funding needs. So we put it in there just so we know that they've requested funds. Until it's actually been authorized, we don't consider it obligated, but we just know it's something out there that might need board funds soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. To clarify.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shalane. As far as legislative update, there was interim meetings last week. There weren't much in the way of water items on the agendas. There was a special session of the Senate confirmation where they, confirmed the new Supreme Court appointees. Also, a few different members of Weber Basin Water Conservancy District and I think one other water district that may be of interest. But yeah, nothing else in the way. We were curious if there was going to be any attempt at the legislature to extend the governor's drought declaration, and that did not happen. But that's what's happening as far as legislative updates. We are currently in process what they call accountable budget review, and this is from the Legislative Fiscal Analyst's Office. Every 5 years, you get a turn to be a little bit more heavily scrutinized on your operations and budget, and so that is happening. We'll be inviting the Legislative Fiscal Analyst to come to our office next week and kind of meet with staff and talk about the work that we're doing and answer any questions. And then there will probably be some recommendations made by the legislative fiscal analysts going into the fall interim meetings and we'll have to see what those recommendations might be. Sometimes it's budget adjustments or performance measures, and then so we'll work with them and keep the board up to date on what comes of that. The next item is the Attorney General update. We'll ask Sarah Schechter from the AG's office to come up and provide an update.
Good morning, everybody. So good to see everybody. I don't have
See you.
Thank you. I don't have a ton to report. Our only active litigation is the public trust lawsuit on the Great Salt Lake. We talked last time in our closed session about the assignment of the 3-judge panel, and the plaintiffs are challenging that assignment. Briefing is ongoing and set to conclude, I think, about July 10th, and then we'll see what happens after that. The other major item to report is that the plaintiffs and the defendants have agreed to go to mediation on July 15th. Director Williams and I will be attending some pre-meetings to discuss with our fellow defendants what we might want to do at that mediation. I don't think there's much that I need to talk about in a closed session, but I'm happy to go into a closed session if you have more questions later. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. I didn't have any other items for this portion. Shalane, is there anything I'm missing that you're aware of? Okay. I think that might be it for right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you all that presented. We're going to take a 10-minute recess if I can get a motion and a second.
I can second that. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 We're in recess for 10 minutes. We're back from our recess for Board of Natural Resource, or Board of Water Resources. And I'd like to mention we had no online public comment on any of the projects we are discussing today. The first item we'll discuss are the approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Are there any corrections, edits, anything, discussion needed for this? If not, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve the minutes from the last meeting.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I can second that.
Thank you, Dale. Do we do roll call, or? We'll do a roll call vote.
Do a roll call vote. Let's, Board Member Ibsen.
Here.
Aye.
Board Member Buxton.
Voting present.
Aye.
Board Member Merkley.
Aye.
Board Member Van Horn.
Aye.
Board Member Jones. Board Member Jones. Board Member Tennert.
Aye.
Board Member Jones, are you able to hear us?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. Votes in the affirmative.
Mr. Chair, Joel, I'm not, and maybe this is for Board Member Jones as well. I'm not seeing the video stream for you all. It looks like Spencer's
I've not
saying
seen
the
it either.
Okay, we ought to
saw it
maybe,
before the break.
let us check that, just a moment.
Great, thank you. And again, we can hear you, so if you want to, if you're just going to continue with business, we can hear you, but just flagging that we can't see you.
We're being told it may be a bandwidth issue, and hopefully, as we go along, it will show up. Let us know if it doesn't.
We'll proceed with board actions. First item on board actions, RA 499 Lake Creek Irrigation Company. Any additional questions or discussion on this? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that the board commit 85% of the project cost up to $7,604,000, and that the project be purchased at 1.24% interest over about 26 years with annual payments of $346,000.
Thank you, Board Member Van Horn. Is there a second?
I can second that.
Thank you, Board Member Buxton. Let's have a roll call vote, please.
Board Member Ibsen.
Aye.
Board Member Buxton.
Aye.
Board Member Merkley.
Aye.
Board Member Van Horn.
Aye.
Board Member Tennert.
Aye.
And Board Member Jones.
Aye.
That's, vote is unanimous. Thank you. Passes. RE 501 Cache Highline Water Association. Any additional questions or discussion on this project? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that the board commit 32.1% of the project cost up to $255,000, and that the project be purchased at 0% interest over 25 years with annual payments of approximately $10,200.
Thank you. Motion by Board Member Buxton. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Board Member Merkley. Roll call vote.
Board Member Ibsen.
Aye.
Board Member Buxton.
Aye.
Board Member Merkley.
Aye.
Board Member Van Horn.
Aye.
Board Member Tennert.
Aye.
Board Member Jones.
Aye.
Thank you. Vote was unanimous. Motion carries. It passes. Next item, RC 067, Twin Creek Special Service District, Jones Dam. Any additional questions or discussion on the project? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that the board commit an additional $1,476,000 in dam safety grant funds, and that the contract be amended to state the board will provide 80% of the project cost up to $3,668,000 as a dam safety grant.
Thank you. We have a motion by Board Member Van Horn. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Board Member Ibsen. Roll call vote.
Board Member Ibsen.
Aye.
Board Member Buxton.
Aye.
Board Member Merkley.
Aye.
Board Member Van Horn.
Aye.
Board Member Tennert.
Aye.
And Board Member Jones.
Aye.
Voting is unanimous. Motion carries and item passes. Next item, RE 505, Wolf Creek Irrigation Company. Any additional questions or discussion? Seeing none, entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the board authorize and commit 85% of the project cost up to $255,000, and that the project be purchased at 0% interest over 15 years with annual payments of approximately $17,000.
Thank you. We have a motion by Board Member Ibsen. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Board Member Van Horn. Roll call vote.
Board Member Ibsen.
Aye.
Board Member Buxton.
Aye.
Board Member Merkley.
Aye.
Board Member Van Horn.
Aye.
Board Member Tennert.
Aye.
And Board Member Jones.
Aye.
That is a unanimous vote. Motion carries and item is approved. Next item, RM 016, Highland City. Any additional questions or discussions for this one? Seeing none, board will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that the board amend the grant contract to provide 70% of the non-grant portion of project costs up to $5 million as a secondary meter grant.
Thank you. We have a motion by Board Member Van Horn. Is there a second?
I can second that.
Thank you, Board Member Buxton. Roll call vote.
Board Member Ibsen.
Aye.
Board Member Buxton.
Aye.
Board Member Merkley.
Aye.
Board Member Van Horn.
Aye.
Board Member Tennert.
Aye.
And Board Member Jones.
Aye.
Okay, that concludes the board actions. Next item, thank you, it passes. Voting was unanimous. State water plan update. Do we have?
Hopefully we have Steph McGinnis online.
Yeah, good morning, Director Williams. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Great. Well, I apologize that I'm unable to be there with you all in person, but I do appreciate the opportunity to just provide a quick overview of the state water plan update. So I have some slides. I'll go ahead and share that. There we go. All right, and I just want to start off by just quickly getting us all onto the same page of just briefly what the state water plan is meant to accomplish. Everything is lined out in statute for the state water plan, so I'll just be giving you the cliff notes here briefly, but there is the code if you'd like to help yourself to a couple pages of light reading. But essentially the plan is meant to serve as a strategic framework, and this is to guide decision-making by those who shape, manage, depend on Utah's water resources. The plan will provide an overview of current, and future water resources, and it will also outline strategies and actionable steps at the individual, local, and state levels to address current challenges, but to also prepare us for future uncertainties. And the statute calls for this to be informed by a wide range of stakeholders. And our team has really taken significant steps to partner at the state level and as well as at the local level. So the plan is bringing together data and science and local input to help identify priorities and challenges and plan more effectively. Now, the goals or outcomes that are lined out in statute for the plan calls for it to support our communities and businesses, our agriculture, our outdoor recreation, and to keep our environment healthy. And this is really what shaped the focus of the plan. We have an entire chapter on healthy watersheds and ecosystems. We have one on vibrant communities, and we also have one on productive agriculture. And I do want to just, I think it was about a year I was in front of you all discussing the state water plan. And I mentioned this at that time, but I think it's important to bring this back up. There were a couple of changes as a result of House Bill 280 being passed in the 2024 legislative session that influence how the state water plan is created. First off, code statute now calls out a timeline for how often the plan is to be updated. So we've had 3 truly comprehensive state water plans, the last one being published in 2021. And this next one, we will have this published at the end of the year, so December of 2026. And then statute calls for the plan to be updated no less frequently than every 10 years. We do at the Division of Water Resources have an internal goal of updating the plan more like every 5 years. We have so much in motion right now with drought, with Great Salt Lake, with Colorado River system, that we want to make sure that statewide planning is keeping up with that. And collaboration was also addressed. There are several entities at the state and local level that are called out as necessary contributors. So these are the entities that are specifically called out at the state level. I will say, though, that this is not an exclusive club. We've invited other folks to join us. For example, the Office of Energy and Development. We've asked them to help inform the plan. As the need to grow our energy supply increases, we'll want to make sure that aligns with our available water resources. And I just want to mention real quickly as well that this has actually been a great process. We started meeting with the directors of these agencies starting in January of 2025 and have met regularly, essentially every other month, sometimes monthly, to really help us guide the direction of the plan. And with those directors, they've tapped team members to help us draft written content for the plan. So we probably been working with about 40 to 50 staff level individuals. So really a big effort that we've put in here, and it's been great to work with all these folks. At the local level, the water conservancy districts and the watershed councils are specifically mentioned as necessary contributors. And again, we've made a significant effort, especially with the watershed councils. We've met with them, each council several times over the last 2 years or last year and a half. And they've really helped to inform the plan, but also identify challenges and needs at the local level. They also helped us to facilitate a public meeting in each of the basins. We conducted those last summer into early fall, and we had over 250 folks attend those. And what was really sort of reassuring is what we were hearing from the public when they were informing us of their challenges and their concerns. It really just reinforced what we were already hearing from the watershed council members. We also, I believe for most of the councilors, there is at least one conservancy district member on those. And we also, so beyond working with them in that capacity, we did just recently share out a draft of the plan for their review. They provided a lot of great feedback and had a lot of great questions for us. So overall, this has been a really great process. So the plan vision that's guiding this work for this update, it's intentionally simple, but as you all know, the reality is this isn't simplistic. But what we see as important here is balance. The vision, it isn't asking us to choose between communities, the economy, or the environment. And these are the 4 goals that we've lined out that the plan must accomplish to move towards that vision. And I just want to discuss each briefly in a bit more detail. To ensure long-term water security, we really want to make sure that we aren't planning on just one future. There could certainly be a variety of futures ahead for Utah. So we want to make sure that we're embracing innovation and being proactive with water planning. And our state is growing, and ultimately we want to plan for growth in a way that aligns with our available water resources. And as we grow, we want to find innovative ways to better coordinate, share data, and collaborate so that we're sharing stewardship of our water resources. With a background as an aquatic ecologist, I'm really excited about this goal. I feel this plan update, it really expands and puts more of a focus on protecting our environment than we've seen in previous plans. One of the clearest signals that's shaping this update, this was highlighted in the last plan, the 2021 plan, we are seeing drier conditions and we are seeing more extreme weather events. So certainly drought is front and center on our mind right now. If you've looked at the U.S. Drought Monitor map recently, you know that actually the entire state is pretty much red, but this is a screenshot from December. And I just share it here to make the point that we have been in drought for quite some time. In December, just about the entire state was in some level of drought. Certainly Great Salt Lake is on our mind as we're working on this update, as well as conditions in the Colorado River system. And when we talk about these indicators of a changing water landscape and we're out there with folks, this can be really depressing and overwhelming. And we don't want to send the message that there's nothing we can do, but really the message that we want to send is that planning for the future, it is going to require us to start thinking differently about risk, resilience, and responsibility. So I want to just start digging in and give you sort of a high-level overview of what will be included in the plan. It will be comprised of a total of 9 chapters. Today, I just want to drill down briefly into chapters 2 through 8. This is really the meat of the plan. Chapters 2 through 4, I see these as the chapters that outline what the limiting or constraining factors are when it comes to how much water we have in our state and what we can do with that water. And then within those constraints, how do we support our watersheds and ecosystems, our communities, and our agriculture? Chapters 5, 6, and 7. And then we'll also have a chapter that discusses the unique challenges and needs within the 11 basins within Utah, as well as the success within each of these basins. We really want to highlight some aspect of all the great work that's going on in the basins to solve water challenges. So digging into each of the chapters just a little bit, with chapter 2, we're really describing the current conditions, and I see this chapter as establishing the baseline for planning and decision making. So we'll explain how supply and use are measured, as well as provide a current water budget that details our current supply and current use. And this figure up on the screen, it's a little bit busy, but just an example of what we can do with those data. This image is showing the diversions, depletions, and return flow by major basins and by major sector. So this will be the type of information that we'll be highlighting here. In chapter 3, we start to dig into sort of the risks and unknowns that can affect water planning. Climate and population are certainly 2 drivers that create uncertainty. So our team has modeled how these 2 factors could affect supply and demand into the future. And chapter 4 will cover how water is governed and managed, and really how it creates some predictability for water users, even at times when we have uncertain, it feels like, supply conditions. So we'll be covering who does what at the state, regional, and local levels. We'll highlight key laws and agreements that shape water use. We'll talk about water rights and allocation, and we'll also touch on innovations in water management and planning. Okay, so moving into chapter 5, we're moving out of sort of those constraint chapters and moving into the 3 focus areas that we want the plan to support. So in chapter 5, we'll really be emphasizing the importance of investing in our natural systems. Healthy watersheds and ecosystems, they're really one of the most effective, but unfortunately one of the most often overlooked ways to build resilience. These intact systems, they provide a multitude of services, from providing habitat for wildlife to improving water quality. We'll also touch on the threats to our watersheds. That'll certainly include pollution, invasive species, and wildfire. And our watersheds, they're a great place to play. So this in turn is a great economic benefit to many of our communities. And that takes us into our next chapter. Long-term planning will be key to ensuring our water resources are ready to support a growing population, ensure that our economic opportunities are set up for success, and that we have a strategy in place to seize future opportunities, such as hosting the upcoming 2034 Olympics. Ultimately, we want to plan for growth again in ways that align with our available water resources. We'll dive into how we can continue to manage demand, as well as how we can expand and optimize our available supply. In our agriculture chapter, we'll be digging into all the programs and the funding that's available to producers, as well as the best management practices and innovative opportunities. And we'll be kind of breaking these out into sort of 2 core areas: off-farm. So looking at the improvement of the conveyance system and the measurement and control of water throughout the system, And then on-farm, those BMPs, best management practices that optimize agricultural water use. These are typically focused on both system infrastructure as well as the management of crop, soil, and irrigation water application. The final chapter that I want to discuss is our basin perspective chapter. Again, we'll be highlighting challenges and needs in a success. We'll also give an overview of what their water use is. So we'll be looking at diversion, depletion, and return flow, again, by those major sort of sectors. And this was all really informed, again, by the Watershed Council members and also just reinforced by what we heard at our public water talks that we held last summer and into the fall. Now, at the end of each chapter, we'll provide a recommendation to move us toward those goals and vision. And it's really intended to capture the key actions and strategies that are identified throughout the plan. We have 3 themes that have helped us to guide our decision-making process. Essentially, what recommendations do we want to elevate and place in the plan? As Laura Hansen with the governor's office always says, too many goals or too many recommendations is just as bad as having none at all. So we're really trying to prioritize and elevate in the plan those recommendations that address reliability and resilience, collaboration, as well as stewardship. Most of these are aimed at improving funding and policy and science. Our directors have really been guiding this in terms of what recommendations we place in the plan. And there'll probably be around 35 to 40 total recommendations throughout the plan. And we'll sort of package those up in that final chapter 9 as well. And this is just an example recommendation that the team working with the directors has put together. Again, probably about 35 to 40 total recommendations will be in the plan. And we have 2 key milestones still that we need to hit. The next one is next month, probably late July. We're aiming for July 21st. It could get put back a few days, but we'll be releasing the plan for public comment. So that will be a 30 to 45 day comment period. On July 30th, I don't have that on here, but we will do sort of a virtual open house kickoff where we'll give a short presentation, 25 to 30 minutes on the plan, and then allow about an hour for questions. And once we have the comment period closed, we'll review all of those comments, incorporate them as necessary. And again, that final draft will be available in December of this year. And with that, I would be happy to answer any questions that you all may have.
Stephanie, this is Blaine Ipson on the Severe. I've been meeting with a few of the folks in Millard County, and we have just a couple or 3 minor suggestions that they would like me to relay. What's your phone number? I'd like to just give you a call sometime and discuss a couple things.
Absolutely. And you would think that I have it memorized. It is 801
801
385 3791.
Okay, 3791. Okay, I'll give you a call and just relay a couple or 3 minor things.
That would be great. I'd appreciate that.
Any other questions?
This is Spencer.
Oh, go ahead, Spencer.
Oh, sorry. This is Spencer Jones with the Lower Colorado River Basin. Just wondering when it comes out for comment, if that's something that our agency could distribute out to each of us board members.
Yeah, we would appreciate that. We can share that with you all, and we are encouraging folks to share that information out through their appropriate networks and channels so that we can get as much feedback as possible.
Thank you.
Any further discussion or questions? Van Horns.
Hi, Steph. This is Dana from Grand County, representing the Upper Colorado River District. From the time that you gave it to us at the watershed councils, have there been lots of changes or incorporations of the watershed's comments? Or would it be appropriate once you guys share the draft to share that one? Or should we put that one somewhere so that we can only share the newest one? Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, I think I'm following you. So the most recent share out to the Watershed Council members, as well as to the Water Conservancy districts, we just finished up incorporating all of that feedback. I will say that there weren't any real substantive changes. We had a lot of great feedback and a lot of great questions, and oftentimes we had to coordinate with our sister agencies to help review that content. Primarily, I would say there were questions for water rights as well as Colorado River Authority of Utah. And I guess what I would say is share out the draft that will be coming out in a couple of weeks, so that there will be some minor changes. And right now we have that document on lockdown as our team is working to incorporate all of those comments and feedback.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Totally.
Okay, perfect.
Any additional questions, concerns? Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay, time to turn over to our director, Joel Williams.
Thank you. I wanted to acknowledge a couple of guests that we had in the room for the meeting today. Carmen Gondolaker and Christian Hearn, welcoming them. Also, hopefully while Stephanie's still listening, wanted to share some praise for her and her team's work on the State Water Plan. They came into this, if I recall, with about an 18-month timeline. This is normally something that we do take 5 to 10 years to really dig into the details and prepare this, and so coming in with an 18-month time frame was extremely tight, and the level of coordination that they've done has been astounding, reaching out to all of the state agencies and providing input, and then working collaboratively with so many different agencies and entities to come up with this plan that represents all the viewpoints. It's really astounding. So hopefully you will all have the chance to look over that as part of the comment period and see the great work that's gone into that. I wanted to just highlight a few things. It's no surprise that the drought is horrible. It's been so dry, and we are starting to see the effects, something that we anticipated, hoped wouldn't happen, but the fires that have just been taken off across the state. We are seeing, as I look at the Utah Fire Information Portal, it's looking like we're at over 140,000 acres already burned, and we will be surpassing the last year's total. And we're only in June. Looking like the Sawmill fire that's out, or the Hastings fire out near Tooele, look like total acreage there over 26. The Iron Fire that's near Eureka, 37,000 acres. And the Cottonwood Fire surpassing 60,000 acres down by Beaver. So it's just horrible conditions for firefighting, and we are obviously concerned there will be water impacts as well that come with these, not only due to the water used for firefighting, but then the impacts to watersheds that come, and often resulting in mudslides and water quality issues. And so this was there flooding, yeah. All of the things that come along with that. So that there's definitely some challenging impacts with the drought. We're also seeing communities being affected by the drought itself. Went last week, had the chance to go to a meeting in the town of Emory, where they were talking about their dependence on Muddy Creek for their drinking water, and that the flows are currently 6% of normal for this time of year. And so they have eliminated all outdoor watering and eliminated agricultural production so that they can focus all water for immediate drinking water needs. And even with that, they are anticipating needing to haul water to town. They are working on a four-prong action plan, looking at rehabilitating wells and springs, and then considering, this would be more of a long-term, but considering additional storage in that area. And then we've also heard of the town of Apple Valley facing water shortages as their wells have gone dry, and that's just due to the dropping water table, due to the drought. So we're seeing impacts, and I think that what we'll see is that this is going to continue as we go throughout this year. That we know things are bad now and much worse than they should be at this time of year, and that it's going to get worse. And so these messages of trying to use what water we do have with as much prudence and wisdom as we can. Thankfully, there are areas that are able to rely on reservoir storage, and in some cases that storage will provide a fairly normal year for them this year. We are also trying to encourage, we don't know what next year will bring. And so the reservoirs that we're depending on now are kind of like our savings account, and we need to try to ensure that the water there can be used again if needed for next year as well. And so treating that, with that prudence. There were meetings for Upper Colorado River Commission in Denver this week. The messages there were pretty dire, as we heard from other states, the Upper Colorado River states of Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, and New Mexico, sharing how dire things are, sharing about the shortages and the water right curtailments, going, I know in Utah, having pre-compact rights being curtailed, and the shortages we're facing, and it's dire. And then also, as it's well known, the 7 states not having reached an agreement, and knowing that then could lead to further challenges of kind of proceeding into the future without a set plan. The releases from Flaming Gorge should help shore up Lake Powell, and it is not projected to go below Power Pool this year. But the message is that if dry conditions continue and next year were to look similar to this year, then that would, we've already released that that upper division water, and things may get worse if things don't improve. So we're really all crossing our fingers for improved hydrology. It could help in a lot of ways, and needing to also plan for what if that's not the case, and what could we do. So bit of a downer for a director's update, but that's the reality of the situation we're in. Maybe the one encouraging silver lining I'll try to put on this is we have seen a great response from people wanting to do what they can to help. And this goes from the agricultural community to residents to my neighbors who are asking, hey, what can we do? And people wanting to do what they can to reduce their water demand. And the thing that we're telling most people is that the biggest impact you can have is on your outdoor watering. That's where we see the highest depletions. And so if there's things you can do there and to reduce that, we're seeing landscape conversions. We're seeing people only watering twice a week, even though the recommendation for this time of year is 3, to just do what they can to try to reduce. And we appreciate all those efforts and the folks that are stepping up to do what they can. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Director Williams. My understanding is we do not need a closed session. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then, if there's nothing else, look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 We're adjourned.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Spencer.